and whatever I see is smiling at me. Love is who I am.
Hello there, beloved Ascension Pioneers, and welcome to this video about sacred Tantric reunion and the beloved preparation for that. So in this video you will see two segments. First of all, I'll be explaining a bit about this process and why it is so important, what a true Tantric union merge is actually all about. And I want to also then later show some of the yogic tantric positionings that I'm actually practicing myself through my own experience and the art of what Spirit showed me. I've learned that these are actually the exercises through which the most of life force comes through. Okay, so before I begin, I want to bring you to the book called the Magdalene Manuscript by Tom Kenyon and Judy Sion, and it says here, The Alchemies of Horus and the Sex Magic of Isis. So what is this book truly about? In the New Age movement, I think a lot of people have been guided or been reading this book before, but it's been time for a lot of people to revisit this book because of its basic wisdom of the sacred alchemy that it holds in a very simplistic way. So I've been reading the first part as well. The whole book is about many things. So the first part is the manuscript describes these alchemies and what they're all about. So read the book because everything that's important for us to know and understand about a true sacred union in terms of understanding the magnetic and electric nature of the universe, of the masculine and feminine, is already in the book through the example of the teachers known to us as Joshua and Magdalene, because a part of the mission was for them to reignite this and spark this flame to the degree that a lot of us who are living at this day and age would have an actual experience of. So what is the difference between a spiritual mate, a twin flame, a lover, a soulmate, and a true divine alchemical union? Well, the difference is that the mere description such as soulmate or twin flame does not necessarily denote living in sacred devotional partnership. Sacred devotional partnership or tantric union, for me, what it truly means, you will see it described in this book if you'll read the book. It really actually goes into the depths of the essence of the alchemical marriage that is known to us as sacred reunion, sacred partnership, hieros gamos, many different words and terms for one thing. What this thing is the alchemy of how the feminine principle of life corresponds to with the sacred divine masculine principle of life. But as we're living our day-to-day relationships, not all of them are actually enlightened, not all of them are illumined, which means that the actual physical body is not prepared to work with that amount of light. So when we actually say the words Merkaba, we're actually implying that there's a union of our physical body, the Ka, which is the soul body, the light body, and then we have our spirit, celestial form, celestial body, which is the Ba. And when we actually start to physically engage the process of physical ascension known to us as the resurrection, this pure law of how this is done in the physical needs to start make itself known to us. So in a lot of yoga, modern especially yoga traditions, what people do is they're exercising either just their body, or there's a lot of people following the spiritual teachings and the guruism, and they're only maybe engaging with the engaging the mental body and the higher spiritual understandings. The true sacred alchemical marriage is the secret and yet the most basic fact of life and creation about the merging polarities of the feminine and masculine forces in creation through the ritual of being our human self, so being a man and a woman and achieving this union. Even how our bodies are created, you can see the woman has a uterus, she has a womb, she nurtures, she's like a chalice, the well for the masculine. Masculine is that electric charge. You know, when the males ejaculate, we sometimes call it a discharge. There's this truly potent discharge energy that goes out, and as these two know how to correspond, how to intertwine, working with the exercise given in this book and revealed to us, of course, if we're in our own spirit merge through our own soul, then we will know how to raise this energy up. So it's very important for us to not just hold the intention of having a certain union, having an idea about it, but what is an actual sacred marriage in our physical form requires a lot of practice, a lot of dedication, a lot of devotion. With just knowledge, we can't do anything. We can't move mountains with just having the knowledge. That knowledge needs to know how to precipitate itself through our physical experience as being a human, and enlightened human that is becoming more and more the overlighted human. So in this book, there's this whole reveal about the most natural secret that the churches, the religions, the doctrines have been hiding from us because they've taken away the Magdalene aspect from the story. They've really stomped on the whole aspect of divine feminine because she's the creatrix through which all of life can expand and blossom and grow through. So only together they can actually magnetize this discharge of energy and know how to alchemize it so that it actually overflows and it moves out, not just to their own ka bodies. The energetic spiritual twin is what they call it in the book. So when a lot of people have the twin flame experience, it's just a mirror match for the energetics of your templating of what you need to more and more start embodying in your ascension. And a lot of us have misplaced that by words of someone being your twin flame, and not necessarily so. So when you engage in this book or something of similar nature in the sacred tantric union, you will engage with the sacred truths that also come from the Gnostic teachings. They come from the understanding of the divine principles of the universe, the universal forces of all life and creation, any kind of aspect that really draws you further and deeper into the truth, not just the new age, labels, words that you can't really place a proper understanding into. Without an understanding, true knowledge cannot be reawakened within you. Without that, you can't really manipulate your own energy dynamics. You can't work with your energy body. You don't know how, and you're not actually doing the union work, because the union work is actually your spirit self merging with your human self. And through the act of sacred sexual tantric union, this can be potent, more potent, more expressed. It could overflow and in greater usage to the service to all life. So especially for those of us who are here to serve spirit, to serve unity, to serve whatever we're truly serving, unity, we've always been kind of connected with this tantric part of us. For me, everything I've been creating in my life, I've later been shown it came from my union. It came from my own tantric experience, because that is our own life force that we have to know how to manage to lift up, to precipitate with it through our own light body, and then later our light body starts to again go back. It's like a toroidal field. It precipitates and it returns, and it feeds our physical. It's an inner sustenance, right? So the Merkaba, the body, the soul, and the spirit celestial self, when there's a proper direct alignment, only then we truly can know physical resurrection as ascension. So this element has been the most important element, because people have been trying to ascend up there somewhere. There's people who've only thinking that we do that physically. So there's a lot of modern yoga techniques that are actually not preparing the body for this light, because they're doing only physical exercise and we're working only with the physical muscle. But a true act of inviting and working with our life force and how we actually lift up that energy has been not a part of that process. So it's not the same thing. To prepare your body physically for a sacred union, for your beloved union, is not the same as just doing some push-ups and some physical exercise. You got to work with the physical being a consciousness vehicle for that consciousness itself, for that energy, for that life force, and how you will further and further lift it up. Once you know how to do that, you have the magnified power to create. And that is why not everything is shared in this book, because it's also mentioned that if you're not prepared energetically with your awareness, you're not prepared, you're not there yet, you can create many things. And if you're not ready yet and you haven't done the inner clearing, especially the emotional clearing, you can create things that will be not good for you. So when you have the power to create, with it comes an immense responsibility. And that is why the deepest secrets in the ancient mystery schools, they weren't shared with everyone, they weren't given to all. So there's those of us who have that as a mystery school within us, that have the knowledge. So when I do my own tantric practice with the yogic techniques, with encompassed with the breath, and how I'm actually working with my pelvic area, these come naturally because it's already imprinted within us how to do that. And energetically with these exercises here, I highly recommended the serpent exercises, how to move your feminine and masculine serpents in a unity light. And then later, if you can move into the advanced level, how you can actually do that in pairing and your enlightened partnership. So enlightened partnership itself it can denote two people who are aware of this. But an over-enlightening lumined union of two beings representing the exact lunar solar forces of the universe, that is a very rare occurrence as of yet on this planet. But we are starting here, we are starting with us, those of us who have that not just as a knowledge, but we have an intrinsic embodiment. We have a knowing of that in our bodies. It's in our cells, and we're bringing that back. So this book also had shared that it's not for everyone because not everyone might not, resonate with it, but those who will know it and will come in their hands at the exact right divine timing. And that's what I've learned just recently. It just started popping up with many people starting to tune into that more and more because a lot of people are being guided to do the physical work of preparation. When I say physical, it means that you are working with that life force but in your physical body. So you're not just doing energy exercises without the body, and you're not just utilizing your body but without the energy. So when I do my tantric practice, and you'll see later which poses I've discovered through the engaging with your life force, actually have the strongest capacity working with the pelvic area to lift that energy up. But it's very important for us to discern the difference between being in a twin flame or whatever kind of couple or soulmate couple, or actually being in an entwined tantric union, which has the capability to create through that magnetic principle of creatrix, and to merge it with the electric principle of the male. Then we actually have such an immense power that those are not the same things. It's almost like the awareness and awakening movement is not the same as actual physical ascension. So we have to be careful when we talk about those things, because not necessarily they denote the same path. It can be a liftoff, a jumping point towards that path. It's almost like meeting someone who might be of spiritual resonance with you, can become your tantric partner, but it might require a lot of devotion and practice for you to elevate your frequency and your life force to the degree that you actually can lift and magnify yourself into this higher density field. So for a lot of us who hold this as a memory, as a galactic memory, as a knowing, as a record within, that doesn't mean we're excluded from the equation, because we have to do the exact same physical preparation, because we are in this human form that does not yet function at its highest capability. So with this tantric union, what we're doing, we're actually elevating the human body templates. We're elevating ourselves into new dimensional experiences. We're elevating ourselves into a much more expanded states of consciousness, and this is what it's all about. So to use the act of sacred sexuality for the consciousness upliftment, because then greater principles of light become more obvious to us. We have the greater capacity to serve, to share, to create gifts. When there's examples of Joshua performing certain miracles and things, he was able to that because not just he was intact with his spirit alignment with what he called his father, which was actually his celestial self, but also because he was able, through that magnetism, through the magnetic laws and doing those exercises, to bring that so much into the form that he was able to merge that so that the spirit can become matter, and that's what we get as these miracles and blessings. And when we know how to do that, when we alchemize ourselves, these become a commonality for us. They're no longer a gift, a special blessing just for the few. We kind of start engaging with it in our own way. So I want to say also about yoga that imagine having the muscle, the muscular temple for yourself, but no energy goes through it. What's the point of that? So a lot of the yoga that we have now in these teachings and the Western culture especially is built around this, it's popular to do yoga, it's popular to be muscular, it's popular to be fit, it's popular to do these amazing poses. The yoga, the techniques, the breath work, and the certain pelvic positions, you can call it womb yoga, whatever it is, but it's a life force yoga for me. It's a tantric yoga practice. It's actually meant to stretch your body. It's all about stretching your body, because a stretched body is a body that's adjusted a proper way so that direct light can be received in its utmost attainment, and that you in the physical can be a direct conduit for that. It's not meant for you to be, having the biggest muscles in the world and be in a Guinness World of Records. Well, you can do that simultaneously, fantasy, but it's not just about that. So there's a merge that needs to take place. It needs to be done with conscious tantric awareness, and the Tantra is a gift of life when you're fully present with life, with yourself, and therefore you can be with another. There's a lot of people who can't even have a presence relationship with another because they themselves have not created to become an offering. You know, you have to become an offering yourself first. That means you need to be emptied out. You need to know who you are through that emptiness, through that silence, through the sacred breath, so that that can actually create things that are bigger than just the self that you so far might know as yourself, that the only self. So when we engage in Tantric yoga, it's going to be the combination of certain poses with the sacred breath of life, plus the contraction of our pelvic muscles that are actually kind of like the storage for a pulsating womb, because they're actually kind of creating this magnetism. And when we know how to pulsate the right way, then lift up that energy, then it's a magnetic combination. It's a key to all life. It's a key to the universe, to our universal consciousness. So the thing is that everything I've been doing in my own life has been self-taught. It's been directly coming through spirit. It's because I was able to, because I was pure enough to kind of receive that, because I came imprinted in that way. So that actually I didn't do things and positions in yoga and exercise because of ego. Everything I did, I always followed the way my body wanted it to do that. And I know there's a lot of people who practice a lot of extreme yoga, and that extreme nature of movement sometimes is very intense and makes us do, I don't know, outlandish poses, is not always best for our true alignment with the body, soul, and spirit, the celestial self. So we have to kind of, especially for those sensitive, sentient beings, it doesn't work for us. It's just not for us. We know that the true yoga is the act of being stretched. The body is stretched, the consciousness is able to be stretched as well. But what it actually is about, it's about cultivating our life force. Everything becomes about the life force. You want to be fully in alignment with your life force, and that's what Tantric yoga practice can do. So a lot of you who feel you're preparing for these unions, you have to be able to physically sustain that and attain that level of light in your physicality. So if your body is out of attunement, how can you be in an overlighting union? It cannot be. You can have a partnership, but you know, you will only go as far as you can that your body even allows you. So for me, the sustenance of the spirit and body always needed to be in direct alignment. If the body's tired, then the spirit can function the same way, so you gotta rest. If the body doesn't do and produce certain things, then you can't create on a higher level of your attainment because you're not creating through your life force. So then you start creating through that need and desire and hyperactivity and too much of everything, and you want to manifest the hard way. And again, it can be too mental. So the act of Tantric yoga, the beloved preparation, is also in being in that balance. It has to be balanced. The vertical needs to meet the horizontal aspect of life. What else I wanted to say here is, yeah, it's very important how we breathe. It has to be very conscious. And when the breath of life, when I say the breath of life, it means that we're always drawing forth and lifting it up through the white, sacred white flame, and then releasing it into our ka, into our light body, constantly sustaining, so that these two can be in a counterbalanced act. They can be in great balance. I also want to say that there's one simple thing we can start engaging in before doing the exercises, is to bring that sacred breath of life into your every physical chakra, because we only have 7 what we call physical chakras in the body. For our lower bodies, we then have higher chakras. So the new higher 13th octave chakra system is something else, and I've talked a lot about that. But you can bring that breath of life and lift it up to every chakra separately, and then at the end you draw it through all of your chakras as a column of light. So it's very simple. I will show you, and then we will go to those techniques. So imagine that you're sitting in an up straight position and your spine needs to be straight. What you start doing is drawing forth the white flame, the sacred breath of life, of spirit, of your holy union within and without. And you start drawing it up. And the first breath goes to your base chakra. And you pulsate there for a while, and then you release it. With the out breath, you release it into your base. Then from that beginning again, draw it further up. Draw it to your sacral chakra. Hold it there as much as you can. and release it into the sacral. And each time you do that, you release that area as well physically. Your body is relieved of certain tensions or, blockages we create on our day-to-day journey. And then again, lifting it from the bottom, from our root of our physical existence, drawing it to our third chakra, keeping it there a while, and release into the third chakra. And again, from the bottom up, lifting it a little higher this time to the heart area, keeping it here a while, keeping it flowing, imagine each time you do that, you magnetize the area a bit more. You make it more potent. You make it more susceptible to that life force. With the out breath, you can do it out loud, release it into that area. Imagine it beaming brightly and glowing. And again, you do the same for the throat area, for the third eye, from the bottom up, and to the seventh, to the crown, holding it there. You will probably be able to feel ripples or tickles or tingling sensations here. And again, release downwards. And then the unified column of white light, where you just draw forth that white sacred flame through all. Hold it a bit here, and then see it moving out and expanding in a beautiful toroidal field, and then entering into the illuminated presence of your light body that you are learning to cultivate. You're feeding your ka body, and it comes back to you. It's self-sustenance we're also doing at this time. That's what we're performing. That's why when we reach a certain level of density in our physicality, we don't need physical sustenance anymore. But we come there naturally, and we just know when we're there. We don't have to fight it. We don't have to say, oh, now I got to stop eating this, or I got to, change my diet. It's just naturally with our lifting off into this higher octave, this happens. Because our magnetics are developed enough. So when people create from just the mental body, they're not creating from their magnetics. We need to learn through the Tantric union to create through our natural magnetics. Because we're magnetic beings, electromagnetic beings. That's the nature of the universe. So this way, we're magnetically prepared for life itself, or the seed of life, the solar Christ, the universal Christ, to kind of, enter, so that our body is prepared. So imagine you doing this work first yourself, because you got to be the initiative force to be able to hold that as the attainment of that light. If you want to merge then and do that as a double coiling serpents in a union. And if that happened prematurely, when you're not ready, two beings of that high capacity, they're both having that creator consciousness, could not even meet prior to being ready, just as Joshua and Magdalene also met when they were both ready and when they were both already initiated in these sacred initiative schools they went through, each on their own. And that's the truth. That's how it is. So this is the pathway for true illumined union, for the divine reunion template. So this preparation at this time, it's very important we start working with the body. A lot of us have been gathering a lot of knowledge and awareness, but now we're at the center stage when we got to start doing the work. It has to expand into our physical vehicles. It has to become a life force engaged. It has to become tantric. We have to learn to cultivate that within ourselves first, because imagine if someone who holds such a strong resonance to you at such a strong capacity to create, you can miscreate things if you're out of alignment with the self. And because of this being done physically, not just wishfully thinking it there, doing it astrally, but as of you, as of earth, you can't create anything through your divinity. That's what I'm talking about. So you have to start engaging your life force. And that's the only true positioning for these divine reunions of the nature of serving spirit through illumined union can actually occur. Otherwise, there's just a lot of distortion, and when you come into this strong contact with another, your powerful magnetic union can create things that you're not even ready to create yet, and you're not able to yet hold the responsibility for them yet. And that is why the highest level of attainment for you needs to occur to you first. Okay, so for this first introduction part of the video, I really recommend you to go check this book out, even if it's just online. And the other part I want to show you now through some of the basic exercises. These are simple yogic exercises, so don't just look at the nature of how I do poses, but it has to be done energetically, and you will feel, because each pose, when you start engaging in it correctly through alignment with your physical soul and the celestial self, it will start to make you more open. It will potentialize you. It will open you up. You will start feeling pulsations, even orgasmic bursts of energy. That's the initiative that you're actually doing it the proper way, that you're actually doing it by engaging in life force. So yeah, that's it. And let's see how the poses look, and I'll be explaining a little bit about as I go along. So in this video introduction, I want to say a few things about what truly is Tantra Yoga for me, so what I call the beloved yoga. So the beloved is that primordial connection we have with ourselves. So when we do this source channeled and infused yoga, we're actually engaging with the deepest, most inner part of us. And what we're doing is we're allowing our body, which is also our inner child, the creation aspect of ourselves and our physical form, we're allowing it to lead the way. We're allowing us to show the magic through the alchemy of our sacred body. So instead of just doing exercises in a sequence and being much more mentally guided or something we learn from the outside, of course we have to know a few of the basic poses, of course, right? But it's more of an engaging through these poses with our own sacred alchemy. So something that we're following in a sequence that our soul through our body shows us. So it's almost like allowing the life force through our body to take over. So as you're going to be seeing the sequences that I'm going to be showing you, the first thing I want to say is there will be times when there's certain poses when we work with the sacred breath of life. Especially for the feminine, which we know we are the representatives of the womb consciousness. We do hold that creatrix cup of life for that union. So this is what this beloved yoga does. We're actually envisioning ourselves, we're creating ourselves as the sacred vessel for divine reunion. So that's why I call it the beloved yoga. And every exercise we do, every pose we do, every attainment that we do, it's not just about how perfectly we do it. So don't mind the imperfections in the video, because it is uneven ground here on the beach, you know, in the sand. It's nature, and nature is raw and untainted, and we're, as we're tuning into this part of us that's wild and untamed, we're doing the same thing. So we're actually engaging with a part of us that is wild and carefree, and it's limitless, and it's not focused on perfection, but it's focused on the joy when we're doing things. So when we're really going to do yoga through the tantric breath and the beloved reunion within ourselves, we're actually going to feel this. We're going to feel an increase of our love quotient. We're going to feel an increase of joy. Instead of feeling, wow, we did our exercise, we're going to feel we lifted off in our vibration, because we physically created the kind of vessel space to hold that potency of that inner magnetism, which we're now learning to amplify through that. We're remembering and we're allowing our body to show us that sacred way. So with this, we're actually embracing the part of us that is our physical body, and we're learning that the body aspect is not less than, it's no longer a lesser creation, but it's an equal creation to an aspect of us that it's our unlimited spirit. So with holding that sacred chalice space in our body, we're learning also to respect and honor our bodies the way they are, but also the way we want to create them through more alchemy, by really knowing that they're equal counterparts to our spirit, and honoring that union. So the beloved union is the union of our spirit and physical body, our spirit merging with our human form. So as we're doing the exercise, there's a few things I want to remind you of. The first thing is that the tantric yoga is focused on the breath, that the breath is really deep and engaged and relaxed, that as we're breathing in, at the same amount we're also breathing out. That we're not just doing a pose and forgetting how we breathe, right? And we're thinking, okay, you know, am I doing it right? So this constant state of observance that we're sometimes used to with our mental processing, we're actually surrendering with this type of movement, because everything is becoming more organic. It's more becoming an act of the perfect imperfection. So welcome to this presentation part of the video, where I will explain some of the basic dynamics of what I call the beloved yoga. You can call it tantric yoga. I'm also going to show some of the specific
exercises, energy exercises that we can call womb yoga, especially for the feminines. This is very, very powerful. We're going to start with that. In the end, I'm going to have some physical exercises as well. These are not so important, you know. The most important part is the energy work. Read the book again, as I said. But with these beloved yoga sequences, the main things that we're actually working with are the breath. How do we cultivate our energy through the breath? People already know that, but one thing is to know it, the other thing is to actually cultivate it. So the energy cultivation means that we're able to lift it off. A lot of the times when people generate new senses of energy, but they can lift them up and they're not using it to create something, people get cranky or frustrated and they feel like they need to release. So even in sexual activities, most of the times where we're not aware in it, we have this sense of relief in energy, releasing energy in terms of just getting our relief. But as we learn to cultivate our energy through Tantric yoga, beloved devotion, womb yoga, presence, then we know how to cultivate this flame up. So the first thing I want to say is, once your two pillars are actually activated, so the two serpents, when they're activated, you can do the exercises I'm going to show you in the beginning naturally, but before this is done, I really recommend reading that book material in the Sacred Magdalene manuscript. So also what is important is that we're working with a straight posture. The more straight our posture is with whatever we're doing, it means that the more energy we're going to be able to generate. So the whole idea here with the Tantric yoga is it's not just a physical exercise, because as I've said, you can have a very intense physical body and an enormous powerhouse, but there's no electricity running through it. So it's kind of something like that. So with the beloved yoga, we're tuning into our own creation aspect. We're breathing with that. We're being present with that. We're learning to invite the sacred tantric energy within our bodies. We're learning to work with it. And the more energy we can generate, the thing is that we're going to feel more sensationally. We're going to feel more pulsates, more orgasmic bursts. I don't know how else to put it, but that's how you will know that you're able to store and generate more of the life force. What's important also is that it's not so much about the perfection of movement. People can get too perfectionist, or you're not doing this exercise right, or this is wrong. So those of you who are yogis already, don't pay attention to that. Don't criticize, especially the end part of the video. I'm never saying that I'm a professional, but I work with energy. So I want to start out by saying that for the last part of the video, when we're going to do some of the sequences, I'm going to show you how my yogic flow looks, you know, occasionally. So it's just one aspect, one example of how you can flow with your yoga. But the other thing that's important is not so much about, you know, thinking whether you're doing it right, whether you're doing it wrong, because then you're already doing it wrong, because you're mentally accessing your body. Working with our life force is accessing our body on a primordial basis, which is our source self. It's the sacred breath. It's feeling how the energy just moves. And the more we kind of master ourselves this way, we will see how we can direct energy. So the first exercise I'm going to show you for the womb yogic part is that the only thing you're doing, you're generating your breath, but not only here with the lungs and the mouth, but you're actually generating your breath in the womb. So what you're actually doing is you're generating the pulsations of breathing also with your womb, which makes you more susceptible to energy. You're going to know how to direct your energy. You're going to be able to feel exactly where it's moving, and you're going to be able to send part of that energy downwards into a downward spiral and part of it into the upward spiral. So I'm going to show you the first exercises. So in this segment, I want to show you how simple it is to really connect with your body, because the thing is that we were taught that pleasure and everything that we're feeling from the core of ourselves is wrong, and this is because the truth has been hidden about the power of our magnetics. And as we learn how to combine it with the power of electric, which are the two primordial forces in creation, so with each beloved session, yoga session, whatever you're doing, when you're amplifying your magnetics, you're actually creating a stronger foundation for your physical body, for your ka body, And the thing is that you're also with that able to hold greater amounts of power. And I'm talking about, of course, the power of love. The more ability to create, because a lot of people, when they tend to be only upwards oriented, they can't create that much. They can't generate that much passion, and that passion is the charisma that makes us flow and overflow into the dynamics of life. So when we're in partnership, that's not honoring that, that's not sacred partnership. A lot of the times in sexual engagement, what we do is the energy that we generate, we then let kind of dissipate. And it does not overflow, and because it's not lifted up and then used to generate higher amounts and higher senses of creativity, it's then dispersed, and it's just sometimes it's gone and used for nothing. It's no good, basically. So it's very important to understand that this is actually the primordial forces of creation that are interplaying with each other. So the true nature of feminine and masculine energies, they're always meant to be lovers. The male and the female, they were created as lovers, as equals, not just as friends and, you know, companions, but it's actually bringing us back to the core energetics of our creation self. And that's the importance of doing yoga in a tantric way. Honoring that, honoring our creation self. And for me, that's basically what it's about. So the more you discover your body physically, the more you can actually reveal your energetics and master them as well. And this mastering polarity is about mastering our own energetic dynamics, because that's how we're becoming masters of the self. So the first part of our awakening, and then descending into our form, and then overflowing with that creation self, that's the third part, that triangulation, which we're doing with the engaging of our spirit and matter and how they co-create in partnership with spirit. So when the male and female in our physical form, when we channel through the beloved essence, and when we connect to our divine feminine and masculine, that's how each time God and Goddess reunite through us, and they are able to create immense beauties of light. And if we all were existing on that level of creation, we'd create beautiful things, and we already live in a paradise on earth. That's the thing. So the first thing I want to say is, when we were not yet so aware of this, and even when we were younger and our sexuality was not developed and mature, we lost a lot of our life force through sexual activities, because we did not understand how we work with energy. Now, the more we're tuning into our bodies, the more we're going to understand this energy, and we're going to feel how our body, by doing this right and doing it tantrically through presence and cosmic breath of life, we're actually lifting our frequency, and we're actually elevating our bodies. And instead of feeling tired and depleted after an energy release, it's not actually a release, it's a rejuvenation. So it's actually the sacred alchemy of sexuality that's lifting us up. So the sacred sexuality is very important, and it is a crucial element of the beloved, or tantric, or womb yoga, whatever you call it, basically. So the first aspect I want to show is, we've already did that when you're bringing the breath into every part of your chakra and lifting it up. The first aspect, like I said, it's important to cultivate the serpents. Once they're active, you're going to already feel that you can hold and feel a lot of tantric energy moving through you. It will just be felt. But for the last part, I want to show a very beautiful exercise. It's just simple. Our body needs to be at its most relaxed state, and that is why Spirit showed me this pose. You know, a typical yogi pose, when you're like this, your arms go like this, and basically what you're doing is you're resting, right? You're resting your head, and your legs have to be straight. You point your toes and really release them on the floor, and your whole body is basically relaxed. So you can tilt your head either left or right, or you can exchange in between, doesn't matter. And what you're doing, basically, I'm gonna have it like this, right, because I'm still talking to all of you. But when you're really relaxed, right, you're really lying down, and what you're doing, you're actually breathing. But you're not just breathing with your lungs and your breath in your mouth, you're breathing with your womb. You're breathing with your root of your existence here on this planet. So especially for the feminine, this is very strong. And as you're breathing in, you're gonna start to feel almost like your womb is alive. It's gonna start to create a pulsation like this. There will be, if you haven't been doing that, and it's that area of you is sleeping for a while, then you will start waking up with this, with the sacred fire force. You can use the basic exercises that are in the book. I won't talk about this today because it's already in the book, but what you do is with this you're actually cultivating. You're cultivating and you're preparing. So the feminine creates this space for the sacred magnetics to have this nesting space. And we have the capacity to hold so much light when our womb is awakened, when it's pulsating, when it's alive with life force. We're going to feel almost like a current of energy going like this in infinity symbol motion. So when you're doing this, you're just breathing. With each breath, you breathe in through the womb and you release through your crown. And try to have your breath as slow and as steady and as deep as you can, right? So this is basically very simple, but it's very powerful because especially for the feminines, it can create a lot of pleasure. And the second part, when you see and you'll notice that you shifted and you generate a lot of energy, you're going to start to work with that energy now. So what you're going to be doing, imagine that with your breath inwards, you're lifting your bottom up, your back is straight, but you go with your hips, with your pelvic area and your bottom, you lift it up, you squeeze the pelvic muscles and hold the breath, and then down. So and with the down movement, you're actually pressing. You press against the flat surface. And then again up, hold the breath in, pelvic contraction, and then that's the second part. And then the third part is that you're actually starting to rotate, either left or right, so clockwise or counterclockwise. So you're doing these rotations and you're just breathing, and still you're breathing with your womb as well. And these pulsations are actually gonna relax your pelvic area, sorry guys, and it's going to be very comfortable. You're going to create this nesting space. This part with the spiraling of the energy, it creates a beautiful resting and nesting space. So that's the third exercise. Looks very simple, but when you combine all three, I did all three today, and it's amazing. It's really amazing because so much of the beautiful energy is generated. And you can start with this or you can finish your yoga with this, but I would recommend starting with it, because then once you do maybe more physical exercises, you're going to be already sending this beautiful energy that you've generated into your physical yogic practice, whatever it is, if it gets more physical. And it's building, if you want to build on your strength, you know, some people love that, or whatever it is, right? So one more thing, when you're going to be looking at exercises that I'm showing, please remember that it's very important, again, that at least one breath is tantric when you're doing the sequences, when it truly is done in a tantric yoga way, in a beloved yoga way, because you're actually, when you're holding the pose, you're breathing in, you're contracting your pelvic area, and then you're releasing. At least one breath with each holding of the pose, make it tantric. I don't know how else to call it, so I'm calling it that. And with that, you will again be able to cultivate more life force than just doing exercises physically. And that's why I'm calling it the beloved yoga or the tantric yoga, because of the way we do it, because of engaging and generating the energy through our innermost presence, which is given to us, which is our beloved core essence. And you know that a lot of my videos are talking about this, about the cosmic beloved, about becoming this, because when we engage ourselves as an essence in our physical form, then we actually, the longing is gone, the longing to have fulfillment from the outside, to have confirmation, validation from the outside, because we've mastered how to become our beloved, how to bring our beautiful space and energy in this reflection in our physical form. And the more we do that, the more we're just feeling that beautiful tantric bliss, is how I call it. A lot of the times, because this energy is so strong, especially when we do it with others, it will also cultivate a lot of things that need to come to the surface. It will generate people's fears, rejections. It will start maybe feeling uncomfortable. They won't always want to see things that they're there. Sometimes they'll go in denial. And when we're in conscious partnerships, we're going to want to work on this, because when we're in unconscious partnerships, people usually want to run away and hide and deny, you know, and just finger point and blame the other. Well, the other is just their mirror. So we need to start facing what's coming up, and that's why this beloved Tantric yoga is so good to prepare for that as well. Because the more work we do that internally with ourselves first, the more we're prepared for a very strong beloved union and unionship, a sacred partnership, sacred marriage, whatever you call it, hirosgama. So that was my whole point about this video. Really wanted to get this message across, that it is important to prepare physically as well, because we are physical beings. Our body, our chemistry is alchemizing with our spirit. That's why we're doing this. That's who we are as magicians and alchemists, spiritual masters of the new. And the more we actually do that energetically and then follow with the physical aspect, the more we're actually allowing these two to merge. So yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say. I hope you will enjoy some of the exercises part as well. And again, don't mind the things not being done perfectly, because it's about the way we do it, not how it looks. And especially because I don't have the professional video equipment or someone shooting my top on professional videos, and it is what it is, but it's shared with love as always, with so much devotion to this truth of the beloved, of our true essence as our cosmic self, as the breath of life, and as the Holy Spirit that actually is in all of life within and around us. So enjoy the exercises part, and that's it, with so much love, and I'll see you soon.
The light of my heart, the light of my soul, together we come to light up the world. The light of my life, the truth of my home. You and I is where I belong. Baby, why you always tell me maybe? All I want from you is what we have right here and now. Baby, take me now into forever. Let's not waste another moment of our lives. We're young. Oh. The great outdoors is where I feel you. My sweet beloved, I am near you. Oh, come, let's take a walk together. Let's spread our wings across this meadow. You are my prince and I'm your princess. Our world is full of magic kisses. We spend our days and nights together, always in any kind of weather. Our love is traveling through these mountains and meets where sky becomes the heavens. We live the magic of the elvens. Our home is always with the other. I miss you when you are not near me. The longing of my heart so dearly, calling for you, my sweetest elven. Our souls' embraces are forever. You are my beloved. You are my whole life. Together we are one. Together we thrive. L-O-V, beloved. L-O-V, beloved. We are divine partners. Together we create mystery and magic, husband and wife, electricity, magnetism. We are love in human form. Beloved. L-O-V, Iluvir. I am Iluvir. Welcome into my world, the world of the elven song, magic of the path of the unknown. Enter in and you will see your true power and your destiny. Iluvir, Iluvir. Ah. In our world, things will change. They will never be the same. They will rise. They'll expand. And there always will be more. Let it be. Let it go. Come into the world beyond. La la la. La la la. La 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 la. On our earth it shall be. We will all become so free. We will love. There'll be joy. And together we will come. We'll unite. We'll be one. Come into our world new word. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Fellowship of new earth will unite, will be one. Come into our world new Estara. to the wild in the unknown. We're always home. We're always one. Nature is calling, the mother of life. We are creation. We are divine. The mystical path is guiding our way. All paths are one. We never stray. Trust life. Trust the path. Trust the way. The love one. The love one. Everything will come. All of the new. All so beautiful. All so true. Yellow butterfly, come to me now. Tell me of the life I will live from now. I am new life. I am divine grace. I live in the now, in a simple place, the place of divine love. I am love divine. Alvan, so full Yellow butterfly, come to me now. Tell me of the life I will live from now. Oh, 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 oh. The place of divine love. I am love divine. Alvan, so full of life. Oh, let's not waste any more time. You know that you are mine. Let's join our hands as one in holy matrimony. Oh,